fans, welcome into the Around the Horns podcast. It's your boy, Tristan, your main man, Mario, and it's Tuesday night, Mario, which means you can only be at one place, the official home for the Around the Horns network here at Fuel and Iron Food Hall. 3 games of hockey behind us. Has to have you feeling good, dude. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, but, it's 3 games behind us, 3 games ahead of us. So those 3-game weekends, we're not as accustomed to them. We've gotten the first few seasons, we had those Friday, Saturday, Sunday games, and Mondays were hard to roll into the office. I found Sunday was also tough to get around, but we're here for it. We're excited. Bring on the Outliers.
If there is one way to get you motivated to show up on a Tuesday night, it is promise you 3 guys coming into the show to talk about Pueblo Bulls hockey, and to do so, to kick us off, our period 1 guest for the first time this season, Bulls fans. Give it up for Jimmy Zeisel.
Hey, Bulls fans.
Jim, as you so affectionately are known this year, was that a grown-up move? Did you just drop the MY and now you're just Jim Z?
I guess so. I guess the coaches just started calling me that and just stuck.
Well, Jim, it's good to have you on. Jimothy, if you don't mind, I may just drop that in there one time.
Don't mind it.
Jim, great weekend of hockey for you and the boys. Obviously, Thursday, not the outcome you wanted. You threw on the retro jerseys and kicked ass Friday and Saturday night. Talk about how you shift the mindset from a Thursday night into a weekend series that had you pulling 4 points away from another Mountain Division team.
Well, I guess it's always hard to lose, and especially after the great start to the year. I guess Dave always talks about getting slapped in the mouth. So I guess we just had to take it on the chin and came out Friday and Saturday and dominated. So I guess some in those retro jerseys, of course. So
let me ask you, too, you guys really played some great hockey all weekend long, but Rock Springs was unrelenting. They kept coming at you wave after wave. How difficult is that in a long weekend where they're just going to keep on, pushing and pushing? And you guys, I know there's got to be some fatigue. There's got to be some, just gas guys out there after 3 straight games. How do you guys persevere?
Yeah, no, always going into a weekend with Rock Springs, we know they're going to be hard and heavy, and then we know they like to slow the game down a little bit, but we just always have to get back to remembering our game and how we're fast and we like to play with speed. So as long as we stick to our game, we know we're going to have a good outcome and win.
Now, obviously, your game got to go on full display this weekend. A nice celly for you, a couple of points on the weekend. Talk about what is clicking for you at this point in the season. You've shifted around to a couple of different lines, find yourself on a really solid line these last couple of series. What has changed for you? What do you feel is going well for you at this point in the season?
I guess just having an A and B game. If I go into a game and I don't have the stick handling and the shooting right away, I guess just getting in on the forecheck, using, I think this year I've been a more physical player. So just setting the tempo for the fellas and, just getting after it and using my speed definitely. So I guess it's just a whole team thing. Using our speed just really helps this year. So.
And I want to ask you a more personal question as well. Obviously, coming back, playing on last year's team, there were higher expectations for you. A returner is always viewed a little bit differently. And then, Jim, you had a couple of weeks there where coaches were throwing you on the bench a couple of weeks. You had to fight for that spot. And then once you found your second wind, if you will, I want to ask you what changed for you kicking it into the second half of the season. They can't afford to put you on the bench. You've brought every skill set that everyone has praised for the last 2 years to the game every single night. 60-minute complete games of hockey for you. What changed?
I guess just taking it on the chin a little bit. You know that you're going to go through ups and downs throughout the season, but you can't get down on yourself. I guess just a mental recoup and just get back to how I know I can play. And it's just all a mental confidence thing. So, the minute I start building, I know that I'm going to be a difference maker out there, and that's all I can do.
And Jim, you were here last year, obviously. You're back. You got a whole new group of guys. There's some core returners, of course. But what is it that's different for you this year compared to last year that gives you hopes to really make some noise late in the season, moving into the playoffs, and hopefully a Denis Cup?
As a team or an individual?
Both. Give me both.
As an individual, I guess it's just more swagger, knowing that I know what's to come. And I go into games knowing more of what to expect. And then as a team, I think just as a collective group, we're a lot closer and more of a family. And I guess that we just know, and we go in every day knowing that we're going to battle together. And as long as we play as a team and we play fast, we play physical, we know that we can go out there and win every night. So I guess just coming together as a collective group.
And putting you on the spot, of all the returners that came back, which one were you like, damn, he's back? No, just joking. Don't answer that.
I can't answer if you want. I was just going to say Nikita as a joke, but he knows I love him.
Yeah.
I think we know that Nikita knows we love him, but then to his face, Mario called him the softest player on the team last week. I don't know if he's over that one. Keats, we love you, man. We promise.
Nah, he knows how to take a joke. He's good.
Yeah, he'll take one. Jim, I do want to ask you, though, about some of those returners and about some of the future goals, because so far this season, one guy has signed on to play at the next level next year, and that's your returner, your mate there on the D side of things, Will Hofer. A couple of guys with prospects. Tons of visits have been out there. What does the future of hockey look like for you? Obviously, you've enjoyed the junior circuit the last 2 years here in Pueblo. What are you looking forward to most? How do you want to wrap this year up, and what are you maybe most excited about?
I just want to wrap this year up as obviously winning. I want to go down and obviously we want to make it to playoffs, but we don't want to settle as a 3 or 4 seed. We want to get as high as possible. I guess for the future for me, it's just obviously I've talked to a few coaches, but I guess just taking it one day at a time. Just doing the best I can. Obviously, I want to contribute more in the points department, and I think that's to come. Obviously, I was in a little bit of a slump there, but I think just as a team, just taking it one day at a time and just, making it to playoffs, obviously, because we came 1 point short last year. So that was a real killer for us. And I guess, our team's main goal and my main goal is just to make it to playoffs first. I'm not looking too far ahead of that.
And I think it's a great goal. A lot of guys have come on here and said the same exact goal is the mentality. How much of that truly is talked about in the locker room? Obviously, it's one thing for Mario and I to say, what do you want to do? And you say, win a championship. And everyone goes, hoo-hoo, championship. But truly, how much of that is built into your daily prep? How often are you guys talking about that in the locker room? And truly, do you all know what it takes to actually push past some of these mountain teams that are tops in the entire NCDC?
Yeah, we definitely know we have what it takes to push past these teams. The conversation happens a lot more than you guys may think. It's an everyday conversation, especially with the coaches and amongst the team just as well. Like, we have a mutual understanding of where we want to be, and it's very transparent amongst all of us. So I think it's great that we're able to talk about it constantly because it just pushes us towards our goal even more.
And I want to change gears again real quick and ask a question. Earlier in the year, you had should we call it a lady friend that showed up, and she did beat the bull with us during the game.
Yes.
And I referred to this young lady as your girlfriend, and there was some question marks as to the legitimacy of that. You might have gotten some texts afterwards stating, "So what are we?"
Yep.
I don't want. What are we? I don't want to put you completely on blast, but how's that living? Are you? So I was told you were mad at us for putting her out on display like that.
No,
is that
not
true?
mad.
And are you guys like what? What are you?
Yes, we are official. She was here last weekend.
All right, good job, buddy.
Just in time for Valentine's weekend.
I want to say I had something to do with that. Oh, you thought you were going to give it a 5-2. Come on.
I was just applauding you on being the matchmaker right before Valentine's Day.
You left me
Dude,
hanging.
I'm gonna wait till you see me when I have my wings and nothing but a diaper on, dude, with my little bow and arrow.
Yuck. I don't want to think about that ever. So we're going to change gears one final time here, Jim. Something we talk about with every guy on the pod. We're going to throw some superlatives out there. And I think your name has come up often in a lot of these conversations. But when we talk about the explosive firepower, obviously a huge weekend from the point standpoint, and coming from all over the board. It wasn't one guy giving all the points. Shout out NCDC All-Star Mats Weimarschenok, who put up 7 points this week. But I do want to talk about that offensive productivity. So who is the most explosive offensive player on this year's squad?
Just points-wise?
Points-wise, scoring, best shot, who you have. If you had one chance to get a point on the board, you put the puck in whose stick?
I think obviously we've seen it recently, and Simon's been a real explosive piece for us. I think he has like 17 in the last 5 games. And like, I talked to both the Twins before Saturday's game. I said I'm going to be back door, just put it on my stick, and it went in the net. So I'm going to give it to Simon.
All right. Now, on the other side of things, who is the toughest to score on or maybe maneuver through the zone on? You obviously are putting up practice reps against some of the best defenders in the league. Who is the most staunch defender on this year's squad?
One's right next to me. This is a tough question because our D are hard to go against. But
We've been told by a few people that we might have the best D core in the Mountain
I
division.
firmly believe in that. Our depth is crazy from our D, but honestly, even though he is right next to us, I'm going to go with Trevor Stewart. It's hard to beat his mobility and his stick, and I mean, just the fact that he has been a forward in the past, it makes it hard for you to go against.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I was also going to say, I don't know what time he has on the ice to play defense because he's always behind the opposing goal trying to fight for the puck, and then you've got poor Simon on the blue line shaking in his boots trying to play defense. But we will talk to Trevor Stewart in just a couple minutes. Jim, I'm going to give you a final chance. You've got a Thursday, Friday, Saturday game this weekend. Very important games against the Outliers. To the Bulls fans not exactly convinced that they should make their plans for all 3 days, look them in the eyes and tell them what they should do this weekend.
Come down. Watch us win 3 times. It's going to be awesome. We're going to put a lot of goals, and then a lot of celebrating going to be happening.
Easy. You don't have to listen to me anymore, Bulls fans. Listen to our period 1 guest and give it up for him one more time. Jimmy's ISO.
Hey, buddy, thanks for finally making some time for us. We appreciate
Thanks
it.
for finally inviting me.
Appreciate you, Jim. Bulls fans, don't go anywhere. We got a period 2 guest and a period 3 guest. Spoiler alert, neither of them are coaches. So you're going to want to stick around to the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast, period 2 time, and we are bringing in the subject of much conversation, and by much conversation I mean only by our period 1 guest, because we would never spoil the surprise, but thanks to Jim Z, you already knew who was coming on in period 2. Bulls fans, show some love for Trevor Stewart.
What's up, Bulls fans?
Stewie, it's good to have you on, man. How are you?
Good.
Glad you're here after a good weekend of hockey. Obviously, we talked about it enough in period 1. Not the way you wanted to start the weekend. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday ended up being awesome for you. Talk about a really electric weekend inside of the PIA. What went well and what was maybe your favorite part?
Yeah, I mean, you got to own a loss on Thursday. Not a lot of fans come out on Thursdays. It's tough to play, but, you lose. You got to bounce back and show some respect to the other team and just bring the energy the next night.
And since you've been in Pueblo, how important has that home advantage, that fan base been for you?
It's been unreal. I mean, the fans come every Friday, Saturday, even Thursday. There's still some fans there. I mean, there's always energy no matter what the score is, what the day is. It doesn't matter, who's there. Always fans, always energy. It's awesome.
Have you experienced a lot of that in your past hockey experience?
No, I haven't. Not a lot of fans come to. I played at prep school in Chicago last year. Not a lot of fans come out to those games, but playing here, it's awesome with tons of fans.
So talk about that path, Stewie. Obviously, playing in Chicago last year. What got you from Chicago out to Pueblo, and how's your first year in juniors with the Bulls going?
I mean, it's awesome. I started in Georgia, so not much hockey there, and then moved out to Chicago to play there. And then I started in the Null with the North Iowa Bulls and just wasn't having a good time there, didn't like it much, and just needed a spot to come. Started talking to Tyler Thunberg, and he got me here, and then ever since then, just been awesome.
Yeah, and you know what they say, 2 a.m. tunes is in the DMs, and I'm sure that late night DM said, come on, you're playing for the wrong Bulls. Come out to Pueblo, and maybe one of your best decisions you ever made.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
obviously,
and he's partial for the D-men too, as well.
Yeah, making a huge impact this year. We talked about it last period, but even last week when we talked about standout performances, we had head coach Chris Wilhite on, and he said one guy who jumps out on the stat sheet in more ways than one to me every single weekend is Trevor Stewart. And I said, wow, coach, you want to glaze him a little more? And then he did, and he kept talking about how good you've been this season. So knowing that you came in mid-season, earned the respect of the coaches and your players alike, how cool has that transition been, and how do you kind of embrace that in stride and continue to improve your game?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, everyone was super opening when I came in. They were just like welcoming, and there was no like tough boundaries or anything. Everyone was just like happy for me to be here, and I just started playing, and then I guess it was barbecue chicken from there.
Well, we've been joking a little bit about this, but we found out recently from an in-game discussion with you about your history playing hockey, and we always joke like Stewie, he doesn't like the blue line because when he pinches, he's behind the net. Like you really, really pinch, putting people like Simon Marshanock back on the blue line to cover for you. But you have that natural offensive inclination because...
I mean, I played forward for most of my life. I kind of, youth hockey, growing up, I was 50-50 defense forward. And then 2 years ago, I guess, was my first year fully on defense. I was just kind of always like offensive minded, I guess. And then I started playing defense, and coaches made me, stay back a little bit, but I always wanted to go up. But I guess it's just a good mindset to have. I like attacking, like joining the rush. Sometimes I might go a little too far up and stay up because I like it, but I mean, learning defense has definitely been a little bit of a struggle, but the past 2 years it's been like a growing pattern for me, and just kind of learning how to play more of a defensive side as long as bringing my offensive ability.
Well, I give you a lot of kudos because we are joking. We can kind of pick on you about the offensive part when you're up there. But, I mean, defensively, that's got to be, even though you've had some experience 50-50, that is such a shift at this level. It's such a change that the paradigm is completely flipped. So kudos to you, but also from where we stand, we also give you a lot of props about your defensive positioning and your stick work and being able to kind of pry loose some pucks from the opposing team. What has that transition for you been to really being that, offensive player, transitioning 50-50 to really being almost a full-time, now you're a full-time defenseman now. Like, does that ever mess with your mind? How do you deal with that? How do you cope?
Sometimes not really, but there's times where you just kind of have to know like when the right time is to join the rush and when the time is to stay back, kind of like what line's out with you or what line you're facing against. Like, if I'm out against the opposing team's first line, I'm probably not going to join the rush too much. I'm going to try and stay back and try and play more defense. But if I see the opposing team's fourth line or third line, or they've been out there for more than a minute, then I kind of know I have some time to join the rush or go up and play offense.
And who do you know has the range? Obviously, you've paired up with a couple other D-men, and who do you know, full confidence-wise, has the range that if you are a little far in, going to be able to get the stick out there and save you, bail you out of a couple of tough spots?
I'd say Will Hofer. I started with him, and I kind of started with him right when I got here, and he was always back for me when I joined the rush. He's more of a stay-at-home D, so I like to play with him because I know I can join the rush more when he's back there.
And he always does seem to find the right spot to be in. Like, he knows where the puck is going to go to keep that
he blocks
in play.
A lot of shots. That's
incredible,
for sure.
Incredible.
I also want to ask you about that defensive unit, and we've done it to every single D-man that's come on here, but we have to ask you a couple of important questions. Obviously, all of you are infatuated with scoring, and your name comes up most of the time when we ask D-men about who the most explosive scorer is, but since you can't call yourself out, who aside from you maybe is the best scoring defensive?
Marcus Jackson had a good weekend up in Idaho. He had 2 goals in that first game, and then did he score? I don't know if he scored in the second one, but I know he had 2 in the first one. He's definitely good. And then Adam Brown has, I think he shoots the puck from the point really well and gets it to the net. So I think those 2 are pretty good.
Yeah, we were shocked last week when Nikita was throwing him from the blue line, so he wants to throw himself in the mix. We'll put some respect on Keats' name.
I gotta shout out Keats, I'm sorry. totally blanked on that one.
No, we asked you for best. We asked you for best. I wouldn't have said best, but he's in there.
No, I'd say Keats for sure, kind of blanked. Camera in the face, it's tough, but no.
So much pressure here.
Keats definitely does a really good job of scoring and putting up points. Anytime I have points on the weekend, it kind of seems he's always got 8 or 9 more than me, and then he pulls out defenseman of the week. But no, he definitely is. He's great on the point and loves to join the rush. So
another position I want to ask you about, you are the last line of defense in front of a stud trio of goalies this year, but if you do find yourself out of position or someone beats you on the rush, which goalie is the most sure-handed?
I'd say Noel Friedman, my roommate. He's good back there.
Good answer, because you might not wake up tomorrow morning.
And I do just want to ask about that too. Differences obviously in the way that all three of them play. We got to see Ian a little bit earlier this year. Peck is obviously out representing you guys at the All-Star game, and Noel wearing the first star of the game for you guys this weekend. Knowing that you can trust any of those three guys, how cool is it to see them develop over the course of the season, but to have that confidence behind you that all of them are rocking a pretty sweet save percentage right now?
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. You can trust really any of them. I said Noel, he likes to play the puck a lot, and that helps a lot when we go back to retrieve it. We can ask him for a pass, and he'll put it on our tape, or he'll rim it up the boards. He did a great job with that last weekend. So,
well, I got to add, I think those three goaltenders should be also giving some props to having the D that they have in front of them as well. Again, blocking those shots, making their job not easier, but more manageable. I think that's the biggest thing is, making sure that load is taken off them, that weight is off their shoulder, and you guys being in the right place at the right time really goes a long way towards
watched MJ take one off the sternum this weekend. Don't know how he's breathing today, but
very happy Gilmore when he's in the batting cage just taking the shots, getting ready for hockey season.
Yeah,
that's what that looked like.
Stewie, I do want to ask you, obviously getting into a crucial stretch of the season, everybody is looking forward to improving your position heading into the playoffs. So what are you most looking forward to wrap this season up, and how do you help the team clinch a high playoff seed?
Yeah, I mean, this weekend starting off is huge. We have 3 games against Utah. They're 1 or 2 points behind us right now, so if we can expand that and sweep this weekend or just win the series, that'd be huge to expand the lead.
And right now, what is the biggest challenge from a team perspective in front of you moving forward to do what you guys want to do, to get a higher seeding for the playoffs, to really go in feeling? What is the biggest challenge? Is it the other teams? Is it internal? Is it mindset? What is going on? If you were to say something that you really want to fix and make sure that you are right and ready to go, what is that?
I'd say it's probably having a stronger B game. Davo likes to say when we're playing our A game, we're a tough team to beat and nobody wants to play against us. But when we're playing our B game, I think we need to improve that and just simplify a little more. I mean, it's part of the game. You're not going to have your best game every single game. There's going to be off days, and I think, and when we have those off days, like on Thursday against Rock Springs, like we should have to find a way to come together, play as a team, simplify, get pucks out, get pucks in, and just like go to battle. I mean, it's going to be tough when you're not playing your best, but if you can have a good B game, then you can come out with wins when you're not your best.
Stewie, I'm going to give you one chance like I just did to Jim. You've got 3 home games this weekend, and you've got 3 chances to sell out 1,200 Crazy Bulls fans. Watching at home right now, what do you have to say to them?
Come out on Thursday, please. We need fans on Thursdays, but I mean, we're going to score goals. We're going to have some nice celebrations. Come out. It's a lot of fun.
That's easy.
They're talking a lot about the sellies. Are you guys practicing these? Or like, what's going on?
I don't know. It's just instinct for me. I just like to bring the fans in.
All right. I love it.
Instinct. Bulls fans, give it up for our Period 2 guest, Trevor Stewart. Stewie, thanks again, man. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bulls fans, Period 3 coming at you. You don't want to miss it while we talk to one of our reigning first stars of the weekend on the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast, Period 3 time, and you will notice a certain gold emblem on the chest of our third period guest because he had himself a hell of a weekend. I think he deserves the loudest round of applause of the evening. Bulls fans, give it up for our Period 3 guest, Noel Friedman. Noel, what's up, man? Welcome into the pod.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on the pod, and glad to be talking to you after an awesome performance this weekend. A really good 3-game stint against the Grizzlies, who got the best of you on Saturday night. And then you came in and said, shut the door. He's not the only all-star goalie on the team. Look what I can do. How cool did that feel to really, after a couple of weeks off, resting, preparing for it, to really show out on the end of a tight 3-game series for the boys?
Yeah, it was really good. It was good to get in the net there to win the series at home. I mean, we had a tough first game and Thursday night against Rock Springs, and then battled back Friday, and then the team just put together a good performance against Saturday, and I just had to do my job, and that's what I did.
You know, Tristan and I, we have the daunting task of deciding the top 3 players, our 3 stars of the night. And, it's often easy for us to mail it in and say Simon and Maddie, right?
Yeah.
And that night was no different. But your performance coming out and showing up to a team, and we talked about earlier in the first segment, that Rock Springs team was unrelenting. They came wave after wave. They continued to apply pressure on everybody on the ice, and you showed out and you made sure that you secured the dub. How special does that feel when you come in, kind of, when a lot of attention is placed on other people, and you come in, do your job, and you do it well?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's a good feeling to have. I mean, Rock Springs always seems to have our numbers at times during series against them, and they always battle hard against us, and we just need to step up our game just that much more in the second or third game of the series, and that's what we did. And obviously, Maddie and Simon had themselves a great weekend, great night against me, with me and Ned, and it was just an amazing game to be a part of.
Now, Noel, I want to ask you to introduce yourself, because Bulls fans that are watching at home may have seen your coming out performance this last weekend, and obviously a name they should keep an eye on. We talked about the trio of goalies and just how special you guys feel to this group of players, but to Bulls fans that may not know you, where did you come from? What's your journey of hockey look like that got you here to Pueblo?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty local kid. I'm from Denver, Colorado, so just 2 hours north of here, so it's nice being close to home. I mean, I played youth hockey with the DU Junior Pioneers until my Bantam year, and then I entered high school, played a couple years of high school hockey, so kind of mixed bag, and then I went over to Minnesota, played AAA prep hockey there, and then went to South Dakota last year, and now I'm here, so kind of all over the nation.
Growing up,
oh, go ahead.
So I was just going to ask, growing up, there's a lot of other Colorado guys on the team this year. Did you ever cross paths with some of the guys you play with now in Pueblo?
Yeah, I grew up playing with Will Nolan, so me and him are close. We went to the same high school. He played for Rough Riders, but should have played for Denver East, but never got the chance to. But yeah, me and him are really close, but he's the only guy I've known that's from Colorado.
Gotcha.
Okay, 2 personal questions to kind of put you on the spot, because that's what we do here.
Yeah.
1, being from Denver, have you ever been to Pueblo, or did you know where Pueblo was?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when I was younger, I played soccer, and we'd have soccer tournaments down here a couple times a year. But other than that, I didn't really have a good outlook on Pueblo before. But now it's definitely a lot better living here.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Things are looking up. All right. Now, that was the first question. Second question, and I ask them all the time. Every goaltender that crosses our path, we know you're a weirdo. We get it. We accept you. We love you. But what is your like habit? What is your weirdness as a goaltender?
I don't know. You could ask Trevor. I don't think I'm that weird. I mean, at the house, I'm
they
pretty
all
normal.
say that, no, I'm perfectly normal. And then we have to sit there and watch you, and we're like, oh, that's what he does.
Normally, I'm not too hard on myself in games. I'm pretty loose. I'm pretty talkative during intermission. I'm not headphones on, staying to myself. I'm pretty talkative. You could ask the guys. I mean, I don't
Superstitious?
think I'm. Yeah, a little bit. Got to get all my left-sided gear on first.
Okay.
But I think that's a pretty normal one for most guys. But
Okay.
I don't know. Nothing too crazy. Pecker's a bit weird. I'll tell you that.
No, yeah, for sure. No, we've seen that over and over again. Crazy. That dude is. Get some help, bud. No, but on the ice, then, what is when you have a breakaway, when you got a skater flying at you and you stop it, and the whistle blows because it goes errant somewhere. What are you doing? You get
I don't know,
up,
I just kinda
you spraying water, you doing the hokey pokey. What
Well,
is happening? I know you have something.
Every time I cover the puck, I kind of do the same thing Pecker does. I didn't copy him. I've been doing that for years, so did not steal that from him. But I just kind of turn to my net, grab some water, and hand the puck to the ref. But other than that, I kind of do my own thing, go with the flow with things.
All right. Well, we definitely need to see more of you between the pipes, because we want to dissect your game and be able to tell you what you don't realize about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's some things going on that I do that I don't really realize, but
It always happens. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't do anything, and we're like, yo, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always something, but I also want to stay on the trend of goalies and talk about this trio that you guys have. Obviously, we talked about Pecker having a hell of a season, representing you guys in the All-Star game right now. You went out and showed out last week. Earlier this season, we got to see a couple of games with Ian, and he absolutely showed what he's capable of. This trio, how do you all learn from each other? How do you kind of benefit each other's game when one of you is sitting on the bench and able to kind of dissect the others? What are you learning from this set?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the trio we have is a pretty special group. I mean, we're all pretty close-knit together, and we go into the rink every day just ready to push ourselves and push each other as well, and just know that we're each running for that same job, and that we just got to prove ourselves and prove it to each other as well, and we have a great relationship with each other as well.
Yeah, I think that's important. We've always had pretty tight-knit groups of goalies here, but the most important piece to success and a long-term playoff run is your ability to just benefit each other. It's not the one spot that you're fighting for. You're helping each other be the best when you're in that spot, and I think we've talked to Peck a couple of times. He talks about the ability to learn from you and to help you with things, and I think that mutual respect goes a long way. But also having a guy like Marty Wakelin around at practice and helping out when he can, how much have you been able to glean from him? I mean, the guy owns all-time records at one of the best D1 schools in the country. It doesn't suck to have him skating around at practice with you sometimes.
No, yeah, it's definitely been good. He's more of a mental side of the game coach, so he's not trying to go into practice, change your game up a ton, so he's kind of like there mentally for you, and that helps a lot. I mean, it's helped me. When I first got here, he told me a couple things that I implemented into my game right away, and it's definitely, I've seen some drastic improvements.
And we talked about being able to wear the badge and to get the belt at that first start of the game. How great is it? How special is it for you to do that at home in front of the crowd that has been just solid for you guys all season?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was the first time was against the Boston Dogs. You guys weren't there, but that was a really cool experience, so it was great to do it again, and just had to make sure I didn't kill someone with that puck throwing it in the stands.
It's dangerous.
Yes. Yeah, it's really dangerous. You guys need to get like a stuffed animal or something.
Maybe we'll go with the foam pucks that we got last weekend. We'll ease it up a little bit. Noel, I want to ask you, you got obviously a 3-game stint coming up against a really tough Mountain Division team, the Outliers, who for years have come into Pueblo and given it their best. They're 1 point behind you in the mountain standings right now. What are you going to tell the boys this week to get them prepped, and what are you personally doing, knowing that these are really can't-lose games?
Yeah, I think we just need to understand that we can't have a repeat of last Thursday. I mean, we just need to go into the weekend going strong and just have put together 3 full games of hockey and just remain consistent, have a good practice tomorrow, a good pregame skate Thursday, and just prepare ourselves and be ready for battle.
Fast turnaround. Thursday night will be here before you know it. Short of falling on your knees and begging Bulls fans to get their Thursday night.
That's what Stewie does.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to them to get out and show out for you guys this weekend?
I think I got to just repeat what I said Saturday night. Got to just come out and watch us sweep Utah.
Wow, he said the S word that we are not allowed to say. So I
was just going to say short, sweet, and to the point are not the S words we're not allowed to say. Mario says the other one we're not allowed to say, then he gets suspended for the end of the season, but we're not doing that this year. We're just cheering on our Period 3 guest Bulls fans. Give it up one more time for Noel Friedman. Appreciate you, Noel. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
Bulls fans, 3 chances to check out your favorite hockey team this weekend at the PIA and Event Center. Pick up your tickets for Thursday night. Pick up your tickets for Friday night. And while you're at it, show back up for the end cap on Saturday night. Puck dropping at 7 o'clock at the PIA and Event Center. Get your tickets at PuebloBullsHockey.com.
What else they got to do, Tristan? I mean, it's probably going to snow again. It's going to be cold. You're going to be at home, bored. Come have some fun and turn out with the boys.
Call me. Your boy will pick you up and take you to the PIA. You'll just be there an hour early and you can hang out with the Around the Horns Network. Then come back here next Tuesday and hang out with us at Fuel and Iron Food Hall for another recording of the Around the Horns podcast on the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns Network.